So, we just did a box opening, and we opened a bunch of other packs too, and somebody forgot to turn off the audio on Facebook when he was recording, so there was a bunch of echo, and it sounded like 1,000 people chanting some sort of arcane bullshit. So we're going to just go ahead and recap everything I said in that video real quick. The Pro Tour finished up yesterday, the top 8 decks, 5 copies of Red White Aggro, which is really just White Weenie with some red cards in the sideboard. Boros Aggro, the only base white deck with red cards in the main from what I could tell. A copy of Is It Drakes at 8th place, and 5th place, my baby, Jeskai Control. Nothing really exciting going on here. The Is It Drakes deck also pretty much what we have grown accustomed to. Both Mizzets in the sideboard, I thought that was interesting. I would have expected at least one in the main. And then all of these red-white aggro decks look about the same. Some differences, some things like Johnny's Pridemate showing up in some and not others. Different numbers of the same cards, different 3 and 4 ofs, things like that. Nothing super crazy going on. I'm just glad that Jeskai got in. Was a little interested to see that there was no Settle the Wreckage here. I felt like the format was pretty well telegraphed. Nobody was expecting too many Selesnya decks to show up, and Settle just seems like the better option against those fast Boros and mono white decks. Next thing we talked about on that horrible box opening was prices of cards. Where are we going here? Here we go. So just a quick recap, and I know I've talked about this in previous videos covering the subject of Ultimate Masters. Comparing prices of these on pre-order to pre-existing versions of these cards that we have, I know prices are going down. Probably don't pre-order these. Probably buy other versions that are out. We're just going to look at Modern Masters 2017 here. You can see that the prices on some of these are coming down, but nothing's dropping more than 10 or 12%, and that's at the absolute highest end of things. Up here with Tarmogoyf and Snapcaster Mage, I think those two have taken the biggest beatings. But you look at these pre-order prices, they're not too far off. And these will come down a bit when the set releases, but for $13 to $15 booster packs, I don't think that you can expect that to be sustainable. If you have extras of these laying around, it's not a bad time to sell them if you're willing to take a 10% knock on what you could potentially get. I think that's easy enough to do, because people are going to be picking them up while they can before we see how shallow the pool for Ultimate Masters is. If this set sells out in the way that something like Unstable or Battle Bond did, we could be looking at a situation where the price of these cards climbs back up relatively quickly, kind of like Tarmogoyf did after it was printed in the first Modern Masters. The price came down a little bit, and then it went from $120 to a $200 card almost overnight, and it took 2 more subsequent printings before it reached what we could now say is a reasonable price for the secondary market. More Pro Tour recaps coming tomorrow. We've got another thing going on at a different studio that we will put up, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you want, mute this. Go back and rewatch the box opening. It wasn't super exciting at the start, but we did finish it off with some packs of Modern Masters 3, and those probably covered us. At least I would hope that they did. Anyway, as always, I've been Dodge. You've been watching. Have a great night, guys.